Hi everyone, Keith Arsenault here, pre-game for the men's soccer game with head coach Tom Poitras. You guys have UNH coming in today. Their style of play, typically not very high scoring, kind of a defensive team, trying to keep possession. You've said yourself you're more of a defensive coach, but you're not opposed to scoring some goals. How's this team going to match up against UNH tonight?
Well, it'll be an interesting contrast because, I mean, they've played 11 games and 8 of their 11 games have gone to overtime or double overtime. So, we know it's going to be a tight affair. We know it's going to be a tough game. We're going to try and see if we can keep the ball a little bit and see if we can stop them from counterattacking and getting themselves forward. But, they're very good defensively. They're very organized. They're a well-coached team, and they're very opportunistic on the attacking end. They're very good on restarts, and they're also good counterattack where they catch you a little bit when you're in possession. So we got to be aware when we have the ball, we still need to be thinking some defense as well.
Now, both teams come into this game, no wins in conference play, one loss and a tie. And you mentioned that overtime is not out of the question when you play against UNH. How are you going to go about trying to attack that defense and use your opportunities to hopefully break open the game?
Yeah, hopefully not get to that overtime if we don't have to. Well, I mean, I think, the weather conditions are going to be a little bit of a factor too because it's going to be a little slick, it's going to be raining, so that's going to play a little bit of a factor. You always got to be aware of not making a mistake that causes you an issue in your own box, but at the same time putting enough pressure on them in their box to maybe cause that mistake. We got to get the ball wide. We've got to be good at getting some crosses in behind their defense and try and get on the end of some things, but also be patient. We can't try and rush the ball because they're going to be well organized in defense.
Now you mentioned the weather. Cold and rainy expected for tonight. You've got a number of players from Jamaica not really used to cold and rainy. How are they going to be able to adapt to these conditions?
Well, they're experienced soccer players, so they almost all of them have had some international experience, so they're used to having to deal with the elements, and they know that soccer's a game. They watch plenty of it on TV in England and in Europe, and they want to their dream, like everybody's, maybe to play someday in those environments, and they know they got to be able to handle these situations to do that. So they prepare themselves, and they'll dress warm, and I'm sure they'll have some gloves, and they'll be prepared for it. But they'll come to play, and once they're warm and going, it's not a problem once you get moving.
Now tonight, a homecoming of sorts for the Hartford Hawks men's soccer team. You've been away from Al Marzouk Field for just under 2 weeks. You've played 2 games on the road against BU, a 1-1 tie, and you also headed to Vermont over the weekend. How great is it to be back at home looking for that conference win?
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping the weather holds a little bit because the fan support's been great. The students have been coming out in masses, and that's been a big boost for the guys. So we hope that continues. We hope the weather breaks a little for the fans. We're excited to be back at home. We tend to be a little more attack-oriented when we're at home, so we're looking forward to that as well. And the guys, they've been sleeping in their own bed. They haven't had to travel so much, and they're looking forward to playing back on the Zouk as well.
All right, well, the Hawks will be taking on the New Hampshire Wildcats coming up on Hartford All Access tonight. For HartfordHawks.com and Hartford All Access, I'm Keith Arsenault with head coach Tom Poitras.